Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can configure the single sign-on the Mozilla Firefox browser, right? So that is something which we can do by creating configuration profile within Intune, and that policy is going to let users access any of the Microsoft 365 workloads with Entra ID credentials, obviously, to that respective applications wherever the single sign-on is implemented and enabled, right? So let's go ahead and do that. But before that, I wanted to give you few of the prerequisites for this to set up, right? It has prerequisites, which includes the devices must be Entra ID joined, right? Also, devices must be hybrid joined, or it could be Entra ID registered as well, right? So these are the three minimum requirements or prerequisites on the devices side or device part, right? And another requirement is that we should have Mozilla Firefox ADMX files imported within Intune so that we can go ahead and create this policy, right? So I have already imported those files within Intune, and I'm going to show you how we can directly create a policy. And that policy is going to allow us to use single sign-on, right, on the Mozilla Firefox browser, right? So in this video specifically, I'm going to only show you how we can create a policy and show you the whole policy details during or the creation from the beginning to the end, right? And also, I will show you how to download or from which link we need to download that ADMX file, right? And from there, you can download those files and those can be imported, right? So I will export it. Should be here. Just a minute. All right, we should have that here. Perfect. So we got, here's the URL. I'll simply keep it here and I'll show you. We need to download those and we need to import it, right? So let's go ahead and start the policy creation. So I'll simply share my screen quickly and then I'll show you how we can go ahead and create a policy. So here I'm on Intune, but before that, as I said, we need to download the Mozilla Firefox ADMX files and then we need to import those. So on this portal here, which is support.mozilla.org, and on this complete URL, you can go to this page here. You see download templates from GitHub page, and you can also you need to go to the Intune portal where you need to import that, right? So even if you follow these steps, it is pretty straightforward and easy, and you would be able to simply do it, right? So I'll put this URL in the comment section or in the description below, and you can refer it and use it definitely. So let's go back to Intune here, and from Intune side, we just need to create configuration profile, which is going to allow us to set up the configuration, right? So before that, I'll show you, here's the import ADMX section within the configuration policy. And from here, there's an import button. I have already imported those. You can see that it was long back and I was working on some other things. So I didn't really made video on this, right? But now these are the two policies which I have imported, and you can see that I imported for Google Chrome and Windows ADMX, Visual Studio, Zoom meetings, and others as well. So similarly, you can import, but make sure uh, there are limit or there is a limit on this import ADMX section. There are currently, I believe there are only 10 ADMX profiles can be imported at this point, and maybe that's going to change in future. But yeah, you need to remember that as well. All right. So let's go back into the policy section, and from here we need to create a policy, right? So click on new policy and then select the platform, which is obviously Windows 10 and later, and then templates, because we are going to use the template wherein we have imported already as a part of import ADMX. And here's the imported administrative templates preview. From there, we are going to import the policy that we are going to type with Mozilla Firefox browser. Let's say give it a name, Mozilla Firefox SSO, right? So you can give something similar or whatever it is, which is easy for you to understand and identify, and give it a short description so that you know what this policy is going to do and what's the context about this. So once you're done with this, you need to click next button here. And once you are on this page, from here you need to select this Mozilla, or you can click on this one as well and then click Mozilla Firefox and then Windows SSO. Windows SSO on user context, right? So if you go back to the computer context and type Windows SSO. So here is the device context policy, right? So it majorly would be something we can either push this policy on the device side context or user context. And in many cases, it is considered good approach with the device context, because if we are managing device fully and appropriately, that means we have the device completely managed, we have complete control, we have complete policies and everything together. So we can go ahead and deploy this policy in the device context, right? And when there is a scenario or situation when people are using their own devices, that means those devices are registered with our Entra ID or our identity solution. In that case, it is going to be good approach for user context, right? So you can deploy on the both side or both context as per need or as per requirement, and then it should be good for requirements or as per the needs basically. So for now, I have enabled on the both side, and once you click next, the next is the scoping tags. For now, I'm not going to add anything, but you can add as per needs, and if you wanted to scope specific group or something like that, then that's going to be allowed here. On the assignments, you can add all devices, all users, or specific group that you wanted to add, or exclude any group that is not, or you don't want it to scope that for. Once done, click next. And once you are ready, we should be good here, and click on create button. So perfect. That is created. I'll search that policy. Mozilla Firefox SSO. Perfect. So here's the policy. And once you are here, just scroll down and you see that there are two configuration settings, right? But it does not really show which one is at what context, right? So here we wanted to see it, we need to click on edit button and then let it load completely here. And once it is loaded, you can see that both of those settings are here, but how will you identify that one? So under the setting types, you can see the first is user context and second is device context, right? So that means you can go ahead and choose any one, whichever is needed as per the use case, as I told in the user context and device context, right? So this way we can go ahead and make that appropriate change, and then, or we can create a separate policies for device context and separate for user context. So this way it is not going to simply impact the all the devices, but definitely while deploying this policy to the group or group of people, you need to make sure those are the devices and users which are not overlapping. Otherwise, this any of these policies are not going to work as appropriately, because the policy is going to try to hit the device, but the device is not managed fully, right? And then maybe it is not going to deliver the settings and configurations that we are trying to deploy. So yeah, those are the consequences we need to identify and understand, and then make the appropriate changes and deploy the policy, right? So yeah, that is all in this video I wanted to show you, and it was pretty easy and straightforward to deploy and set it up, right? So yeah, let me know what you think about this. Have you used this before, or maybe you will try to deploy and use that experience? And yeah, that's all for this video. Hope you like it. Please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And also watch other videos around Microsoft 365, Azure, and FinOps. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye for now.